there was something that always sparked my interest in the farming world. And I don't know if it was so much the equipment, or if it was livestock or just seeing the crops being grown. But something there sparked my interest, and as long as I can ever remember, I've always thought I was wanting to be a farmer. I never had a clue that I would be milking cows, but when Becky and I was talking about this, like the second year we was married, her parents milked cows, and we decided that milking cows was maybe the most stable part of farming at the time. So that's really how we got started milking cows versus maybe doing grain farming. My name's Mike Lee, and I farm for a living. My wife and I milked cows for 30 years, and now I custom raise dairy heifers for other people, along with the farming. And we have 3 children. I have 2 daughters and a son. We have a total of 9 grandkids. It's been a ride. It's kind of getting towards the end of my working years. Our 3 kids were all heavily involved with the farming operation. One thing that, as they were growing up, is basically, as soon as they was here on the earth, they were in the barn during milking time. As soon as they could start help feeding calves and stuff like that, they were out doing that. I know my son, he's the youngest of the 3, and we often joke, now that he's an adult, that he maybe been 5 years old, and he was after me about wanting to drive the skid loader. So I started letting him drive skid loader, like when we'd open gates and he'd drive through and this and that. And it turned out then that his responsibilities were that every night then that he did all the scraping of manure in the barns. And so we often joke now that he said that was my biggest mistake. He says, about wanting you to show me how to drive skid loader. He says it turned into be a full-time job. And but yeah, the kids were all heavily involved. We never made the kids get up in the morning before school to help chore, but everybody had responsibilities in the afternoon and evenings when they got home. All 3 of my kids graduated from Purdue with a major in agriculture. 2 out of the 3 are heavily involved in the farming industry today. So I guess we didn't make them too sick of the farm, but with the number of cattle that we have, my day-to-day responsibilities are making sure that the cattle all have feed, make sure that everybody's healthy and happy. We like happy animals, and so feeding and just observing health-wise, any sickness or anything like that. In the summertime, I've got a few crops that I raise, so we're busy doing that when we're not taking care of cattle. Wintertime, when there's no crops in the field, just pretty much working with the cattle pretty much all day, except for some nasty weather, why I tend to maybe sneak in the house and get away from the weather. But pretty much it's it's probably pretty boring, maybe to some people, to think, well, that's all you do is work with cattle. But on the farm, there's always something. It seems like there's always something different every day. Farm life is it's a commitment. When the kids were young, they thought that farm life was just pretty tough. But when the kids, as they got older, and especially once they moved away from home, every one of my kids have wrote me pretty tear-jerking notes or letters or whatever, thanking Becky and I for giving them that opportunity to be on the farm and to have that experience. And so I guess it wasn't all that bad. But, so yeah, I think as far as raising a family, you can't be